grab a cup. You're watching before your weekend.
You're watching before your weekend. You're watching before your weekend. You're watching before your weekend. Hey, you're watching before your weekend. Hey.
What's good, everybody? Happy Friday. Welcome to Before You Weekend. We hope you're well, happy, and making money. We are here once again with Calvin and Ellen.
No, today
and
people are
myself.
spending money, my brother.
You think they're spending money?
Yes.
Do we have money?
I hope people are making
have
money.
money.
TK, people are spending today.
They're spending.
Yo.
Like, have you seen the shop? Have you been to the shops?
No.
It's a mess, my brother.
On Friday.
Well,
Yes.
that's the only time they've got.
No,
because-
well, since yesterday it's been a mess.
yeah.
It's been a mess, bro. Like,
Who's
just
money?
seeing
Or they're on credit?
Puma 2K.
People
Us-
have money.
'cause
When, just because you don't have money, now you
I
are
don't.
roping everybody in.
I don't have money. Please save a black child
Everybody's
today.
just like, don't involve us in this. Actually,
No.
that's also a fact. Like, people
What?
don't have money. Like, I would love to see the stats from, like, the sales from this past week, essentially. Like,
For Valentine's?
It would be interesting.
It'll always.
It's so interesting.
I don't think it is where it used to be. But people make a plan, guys. Whether it's on credit or it's, money that they've got in their account.
Okay,
people make a plan.
so maybe we should jump into this, and you guys can answer this in the comment section below. As you're aging, how are you feeling about Valentine's each and every year? Because I think as you get older, it's like, okay, this is starting to become a waste of time and money. And yes, you love your person, it's great, but it's like, yo, Valentine's again.
For me, and I think this is why I always get roped into this, the whole day, right? The festivities of the day and the feeling and whatever. It's because that's what I grew up with, right? So at home, it was always, and it's not just Valentine's Day, it was every other day as well, important day and not so important day. So mom and dad, every week, Friday would go on a date. Kids would have to see how they fend for themselves, go to Gran or whatever, and mom and dad go for a date, right? So that's what I know. I know that you date your person once a week. I know that Valentine's Day didn't have to be flowers, but it was giving off something, and the entire family was like roped in. So the kids were roped in. We were not made in a bad way, but we'd like saved up money so that we could give mom a gift.
For Valentine's Day?
Proper gift, not just your little
dope.
heart cut out of cardboard kind of thing, which was cute, and I mean it's also
Yeah, of course.
appreciated. But I remember walking into a jewelry store, and the first gift I remember was like a ruby set that we all, and so that's why for me it's such a big thing. Gifting is a big thing for me. So
Okay.
it doesn't have to just be Valentine's Day. So if you're gonna come at me and say, well, I do things every day, then you better be doing things regularly. It doesn't have to be every day. You better be doing things regularly, because you can't now come and say, Valentine's Day, I don't celebrate, but you barely remember our anniversary. You barely remember my birthday.
Okay, I agree.
I agree with
That
that.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
but this year I've got it's a very sad day for me. Like every year I'm always expectant that somebody's going to buy me something or pitch up somewhere at work or whatever, and nobody does because they suck.
So the previous episode of Before You Weekend,
Yeah.
men were publicly shooting their shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apologetically. I know the back end.
Yeah.
Do you want to maybe give context and say what happened?
What happened? I don't know.
Yeah. What had happened
What
was
happened?
Men.
What?
We're trying to fix this nation.
you guys aren't trying hard enough, and it's not that difficult, eh? It's not that difficult.
Okay, what
like
happened?
1 2 1 2.
Like,
Man, okay, so the whole live happened,
Yeah.
right? And that was cool, right?
yeah, dope vibes, good energy.
And we couldn't go out the following day because the following day I had a family arrangement
Okay,
going on, like
cool.
an event. So I'm not going to bring a total stranger.
No,
You agree?
absolutely not.
So I wasn't in the wrong.
No, absolutely not.
As a +1
No.
Absolutely not.
on at the 99th hour
Nah.
as well.
Yeah.
So I in my mind I communicated that, look, I don't feel comfortable with you coming through to a family
So
thing.
you said in your mind, or did you communicate?
No, I communicated it,
Oh.
but in my mind it made sense.
Okay, gotcha.
Right?
I'm
You
with you.
understood where I was
Yeah,
coming from,
yeah, yeah.
right? And he didn't seem to understand where I was coming from, but according to him, I have bad communicating skills. So we haven't yet.
Was
It's
that
not
in
like
24 hours?
I don't know, 24 hours. That's how bad I am at relationships, eh? Like I will hire and fire. No.
Well, okay.
That might be a good quality though.
What?
Knowing when to like end it immediately, like when you can see this is gonna have a bad pattern.
It's a pro and a con, right? I'll tell you, because I think I can be like that at times.
Yeah.
Right? It's a pro and a con, because then eventually it's like at first sight you just dismiss it at first sight,
Yeah.
which sometimes it's just that situation, and also clarity of communication, where I'm not even saying like red flags, like major red flags don't pop up. They do for sure. But I think sometimes you kind of, the line gets blurred, and then it's just at the first thing you don't like. Now it's not even a red flag. It's just that I just don't like that.
Yeah.
I just leave it.
I get that risk.
Yeah.
I think I'm like that when it comes to work. So when I walk onto a set or whatever, I remember doing a shoot for a clothing line, and this guy walks up and shakes my hand. And the way he came with too much arrogance and confidence, I don't think he knew that I don't know how to put it, like I'm the head nigga in charge.
Yeah.
So he's like, my name is so-and-so, videographer, and then walks away. Now, as far as I know, this person's supposed to be the model. I don't know why he's telling me what else he does. I didn't ask for that. I didn't know who you are. I didn't even want the greeting. So I'm confused. And my mind already goes, I'm never going to call you for anything. Whenever another gig comes up, the way you just approach, you've stopped every other chance of us ever working together.
Yeah.
So with work, I'm like that. I think with romantic stuff, I think I open the door to see how far do you go? Where's the red flag? Let's see where the red flag is, and then I'll decide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lesego Tlabi said something very interesting. She was commentating on one of the reality shows that's happening, I think, right now. I think it's called Love.
Sorry,
on
who
the
is
Spectrum.
she?
Coconut Cats.
Coconut Cows.
Gotcha.
So Lesego, but she's now commentating as Lesego, right?
Yeah.
And she said something very interesting. And she said what she loves, and Love on the Spectrum is people that have what's the word?
Neurotypical people.
Yes, right? Okay. So, yeah. And she said what she loves is that these guys will say right now in front of you that this is not going to work for me. Yeah. They don't go, and take the long route and go home and then, keep you texting the whole time. If they like you, like I love you now, right? If I don't like you now, kind of thing. And I've actually felt that I'm that type of person, but because of society and what it deems to have, you need to have a certain time before you can tell a person that you like them or show them that you like them, because why are you saying it like today? That kind of thing. You can't be too fast.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I need to start doing now is the cutting off of people that I'm not feeling, kind of thing. You can see it in my interaction with you. You'll definitely see that this is not the Ellen that was talking to me all the time. But I just need to get the courage to say it now. But what I've realized is that if I like you, then I really, really like you. I'm not going to wait for next week before I buy you a gift. I'm going to buy you a gift right now. And it's going to be a hectic gift because I like you that much.
I think I'm the other guy. I'm like on the other side, which is hence why I'm like, that's actually interesting.
Yeah.
Because for me, the time factor is the whole thing. And maybe it has to do
in the relationship.
To what she was explaining, like if we're in a conversation and it's like, oh, like maybe like the next day I really like you, or no, like the heavy expression of I really like you, and then we're doing the heavy gestures, right? It's like, okay, and then maybe like a week or two down the line, it's like I might be falling for you type of vibe.
Yeah,
that is like tricky for me.
Yeah,
based on the fact that I'm thinking about it now. I'm thinking maybe it's because I'm also extremely patient. Like
you take your time with it.
I'm like, and it is associated to the fact that I'm like that with all big decisions, right? So it gets applied here, and maybe it might be misapplied to some degree. I don't know. That's a conversation that we could probably have. But I am like that.
Yeah.
Where I have experienced that expression off the top from somebody, and it was like,
Yeah.
I do feel like that's a little too soon.
Yeah.
That conversation, like that's a little too soon. I think you're a really dope person. You give off good energy. You know, because some people are weird or whatever. I don't think you come off like, and I like spending time with you. You know, and now we went from we spending time together to like now it's a whole other conversation, and like that threw me off a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you any of you guys have a story on where you went too far too fast?
Obvious.
Because we were like,
And then just said, fast. My ticket didn't even finish.
Yep.
I'm curious,
Sorry,
like
too far, too fast.
Yeah, like when you have some big expression of like affection or whatever, it's like it's too soon to do something like that.
Okay, Ellen's definitely done that. Based on what she just said.
And please also share your
Somebody's
story.
gotta love me though, like for that kind of expression. I mean, it should. Anyway,
What did you do?
it being wait, hold on. Let me get this out. Right.
Yeah.
This year is a leap year, so which means apparently, allegedly, women are the ones that needed to be asking guys out. Right. I can't remember way back then if it
Where
was
is
a
this?
leap year.
Is this in the Bible? Which verse?
It's not in the Bible.
Oh, I'm just checking
But
origins.
Yeah, no. Somebody came up with it, and they were like, every leap year, women can now step up to men and say, hey, look, can we do
Okay.
this? Yeah, right.
It takes 4 years to build up that much courage.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Because you guys, with the quickness, you men were born, you weren't born with it, but I don't know where along the line do you grow that skin of rejection.
We have to learn it. We get
What?
rejected
We
from
get-
childhood.
No, but yeah, 100%.
We have to-
And pause. Women be rejecting men
So
every day,
much.
all
What do you
day.
Every day, yes, but it's not in our spirit to receive that. Like when a man
okay.
rejects me, then it's like, Njani, you know?
How
like,
dare you?
How dare you?
You say no to me?
Like late at night, bedroom antics. If I pluck up that courage and you've been talking to yourself for a whole hour, okay, I'm gonna do it now. This is what I'm gonna do. And then you try maybe like put the leg against, and he's not getting the point. You actually have to like voice it out and say, hey, look, I want some. And then he says, no, I'm tired. I'm like, you tired?
You're telling me those little things like bother women? Like,
Yeah.
just to reject. I don't feel
yeah.
like it's a day.
Yeah.
It seems
Yes,
seems
TK.
personal,
Yes,
and it seems
TK.
personal because
What if you're tired? What if you actually are tired? It's not you. I'm
it's
exhausted.
allowed, but men walk around as though. Wait, let me get my.
He's just like, is that a real thing?
It's a real thing. The thing is, right?
Sorry,
yeah.
Tika's been thinking it's been normal this whole time.
I feel like if women can go, I don't feel like it. Men should be able to go. I don't feel like
Oh
it.
no! You are allowed to do that,
Yeah.
right? You are allowed to do that. The problem is, society makes it seem as though men are always ready to go. It's always a yes, right?
Yeah.
So that is what we are receiving. That there's never a period day. There's no headaches. There's no because and also that's the way some men in some instances communicate. Right? I'm frustrated. I don't know how to communicate this to you, but I need connection. And then they use sex as that connection, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So when I ask for it and you're like, you're tired, I'm like, that doesn't make sense. So, yes. So with my issue of expressing myself, there was this guy that I met way back when. And we started talking, and it was going really, really well. And I don't have patience. Like you have patience, I don't have patience. Like I can see this is a thing, you know. But you are not coming and asking me to be your girlfriend. But we are spending at least 2 hours a day on the phone talking. I run out of airtime. He buys airtime. That kind of back and forth. But he's not asking me out. So I was just like,
Wait,
Sibeti.
he's not asking you out. Like you guys are not going out to dinners.
We're
or
not.
anything?
Yeah, no.
Or
There's no dates or
But it's
anything.
no dates,
There's
sorry,
no
no
dates.
dates, nothing.
Yeah.
But he's spending all the time in
But
conversation.
we
Yeah.
talk. Like, talking.
And we're flirting heavy.
Yeah.
You know? So I was just like, I'm going to do this. I can't wait any longer. So I asked him. And then he was like, yeah, no, I've got a girlfriend. And I'm like, okay, cool. It hurt because there was no conversation of a girlfriend prior,
Would you
right?
would you prefer to hear that and miss out on the euphoria of the conversation?
Good question. Yeah.
I don't want to talk to somebody that's got a somebody. I'm too clingy kind of thing. So I'd rather you tell me than for me to find out, you know.
If he tells you and
I'd rather
continue?
no.
No, she
there's
won't
no
continue.
continue.
Yeah, that's
I
what
wouldn't
she's saying.
continue. So,
But that was a good question though, because
Yeah.
it was a good question because it's like sometimes just that interaction in itself
is enough.
was that. You know what I'm saying? Like was I think the experience, if I can put it
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
Right? So if you had the conversation before, it would have taken that away,
Yeah.
quote unquote.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, that's a good question because we kind of never look at it from that perspective.
I think some
even
people-
though,
No, go.
no. So I was saying, even though I don't think what you're saying is valid.
Yeah.
Like to say that, I would have appreciated to catch that because then that's not a conversation I would have
Yeah.
wanted to had. But sorry, you're gonna add on. And say?
I was gonna say I think some people are like socially charged. Like
Yeah,
some people
I get that.
just like that thrill and that chase because it's fun, and they're probably not even intending to do anything.
Yes.
They just feel activated, and it helps them function in their day in life
Mm.
for some reason. We can't. I guess to some degree, everyone's looking for some form of comfort that we
Yeah.
can't judge them on, and it just happened to like fall on you in that moment.
Yeah.
For all we know, he
Yeah.
probably is flirting with someone else and feels the same. It feels the same. There's no comparison. He just enjoys what it feels like.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
get that because I'm a professional flirter. If I'm flirting with you, you must just know that this thing is not really that deep. If I'm like really openly flirting with you and I'm very brash about it and whatever, it's not that deep. But if I'm all shy and coy and whatever, then you know that there's something there because I feel as though you see me, you
The
know,
vulnerability.
yeah,
Yeah.
that kind of
Yeah.
thing. So if I'm just flirting, you must just know that there's nothing there. And then people catch feelings, and then now I've got to deal with stuff. So it's a problem.
Professional flirter for me.
I really am. I was telling somebody this week, and I said there are people that are professional daters. They've learned
Yes.
what to say, when to say
Yes.
it. So it's a problem for me who falls now. Like I fall very quickly and I fall hard. So I've had to learn how to pick out people that are professional daters or professional flirters as well.
Yeah,
So I don't
yeah,
have to,
yeah.
so I
Because
don't
I was
fall.
about to say, not necessarily a professional dater, which that I get. I think those that are serial daters fall into that category.
Yeah.
But you essentially can master having a conversation with the opposite sex,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it does get tricky because I used to be in a pocket where I used to enjoy just like taking women out, like that was like a thing, and I was thinking about that actually based on what you were saying as
Yeah.
well with the social aspect thing. It was a thing at some point where it was just like I just enjoy the company of a female in this type of space,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like at a beautiful restaurant,
Yeah.
and the crazy thing is like that was kind of it. You know, that was the thing. That was the crux of it. That's what we were that was the experience.
Yeah.
And until you kind of understand, which, you know, for me, for some guys, not really a thing, I guess. But as soon as you start having situations where it's like you're misleading, you know, or you're creating, which that's your perspective or
Yeah.
your point, which is like you're creating the atmosphere of now a whole other thought.
Yeah.
And it looks like, and now I might be heading in that direction, only for you to say it's not really that. It was just like
Yeah.
us just
Yeah.
going out for dinners and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. So I had to just be like, it's not. Yeah, I had to cut that because I think that's just like it's inhumane is a very big word to use, but I think it's kind of like borderline that direction to just kind of move nonchalant as if the other person doesn't have emotions and
Yeah.
and a way of seeing things,
Yeah.
etc. Yeah.
Okay, shout out to you. Okay, before we wrap up this topic, if Valentine's was for performance review sessions with your loved one, what question would you want to ask the loved one, and what question would you not want to be asked?
Sheesh, man.
I think I lost. I don't get it. Which
So
way?
it's a performance review session, you and the loved one.
Yeah.
What questions what's the one question you want to ask? But what's the one question you don't want to be asked?
I don't know. I don't think. I can't think of.
I can't think of something that I'd want to ask them.
Like what
I
matters
think
to you?
I just feel that I understand how men work, not 100% and not.
You have a direction.
I've got a direction into how you guys work and think and operate within relationships, right? So I'm not going to ask questions that aren't going to give me a truthful answer because he can't. He can't. He
What's
just
the
can't.
question? What's the question? Or one of?
Man, questions like, I don't want to say things because then some of my girlfriends will know that I'm using our conversations as fodder here.
Sure, me.
Show me, Bona, he did this again. I'll be like, but babes. You know when women ask, what is this? And yeah, what are we doing? and you'd think that if we are celebrating Valentine's Day, that it's a girlfriend-boyfriend situation, right? But it's not.
No, it's not.
It's not. Men still till today, just go through life. There's a girl, and yeah, we're kicking it kind of thing, but there isn't clear, parts as to this is where we're going, this is who we are, this is what we do and how we work. So I think that's what men don't want to if especially since they haven't communicated. So I go into a relationship and I'm like, listen, we're just kicking it. If you see me with another guy next week, uskakwata, because you didn't ask me to be your girlfriend. I want to be asked.
I think that's so grown. I want
to be asked.
Y'all should have those type of conversations. I be telling people, y'all should be straight up. Like, yo, this is the parameters of this situation. If you pull up to an event and I'm with somebody else, understand. That's
Don't act surprised.
Don't act surprised.
Don't trip out.
Yeah.
Be an adult about it.
Yeah.
You're not in high school. I think that's healthy.
Yeah.
And I've had, like, with my friends, and like, yo, you really come out like that? That's some type of way. I'm like, it's not actually. Because I'm saying, yo, I am speaking to you and I'm speaking to another person. And if you are uncomfortable with that, you can then say,
yeah,
that's not really my pocket and flow. All right, cool. There it is. You know what I'm saying? So,
and I know in the comments, people are going to say, but men can lie about it anyway. Yes, they can lie and pretend that they want to have a relationship and say, will you be my girlfriend? And then you say yes. Mm-hmm. But then with that, I can then come and say that, okay, you asked me to be your girl. Why are you moving like this now? Because I've got every right then to ask you. Yeah. If you haven't asked me, I don't have a right to say, hey, look, you sort of disappeared last week. What happened?
So it's like...
So the parameters have to be clear.
100%. It's like if you haven't voted, you can't complain about it.
Exactly.
You understand? So go vote. Right? Register.
So you'd have a healthy performance review session with your partner?
As it stands currently, I'm due for... I'm not sure where we stand right now with a certain somebody. I'm not sure where we stand. But
this is IG Live guy.
Why would I have a performance review with somebody that just happened on Friday?
That's what I was checking because it's like, I'm doing that, bro.
Nah.
Okay.
This is somebody that said, will you be mine?
Okay.
And I said, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how that's going to go. But this week alone, somebody said that my communication skills are bad. I'm not sure, as Calvin that has spoken to me before, if you would agree with that. TK, if you agree that my communication skills are bad. Somebody has said that about me. Somebody said that I'm doing things for shits and gigs now. But
Not the podcast.
But basically said, like, I want to do stuff for... I had an idea for today. And I ran it by him and I was like, what do you think of XYZ? And he's like, now you're doing things for like likes and comments. And that like struck really, really deep. Because that's not me, I don't really care. Like, I really like being here. But anywho, so that's the stuff that, and you can't tell them that it's not valid. If you feel that way, I need to listen to them and say, okay, let me listen to what you're saying and apologize if I need to apologize. And if not, then come to some sort of a resolution. But to close off this topic, I asked the guy out. He said he's got a girlfriend. He came back a month later. And then he said, look, I didn't know how to handle you asking me out. So I panicked and I said I had a girl. I don't have a girl. I was getting to it. It's just I hadn't gotten to that point of
after a relationship. What? You shucked and jived and found yourself in a new...
But we ended up going out. It was nice for like a little bit. He was one of the best.
Best what?
Just a boyfriend. I was young then. So if that's what, remember, I think we had a conversation a long time ago, sometime last year, and you asked if there's anybody that I'd go back to. And he's one that I want to just go back so I can say I'm grown now. Yeah. What you had there is not what you're dealing with right now. So it's nothing hectic, it's nothing deep, yabo.
Yeah.
But just come see. And then
Come peep it closer.
It's so crazy how people would go on social media, and sorry, we're supposed to be ending this topic. How people would go on social media to kind of show how much better their life became, and their motive isn't just to celebrate their life and doing well. It's to say to all the exes who've said stuff about me, how you like me now.
Yeah.
It's a weird. It's like, why?
It's weird, but it's very important, my brother.
It
You've gotta regulate sometimes. You just every now and then you just have to regulate.
Yeah.
Baro kalemalanyatso.
Yes.
Oh, this is
As a guy,
it's very important.
you're in your 30s now, and if
Yeah.
you look at the track record of your relationships, were you the dumper or the dumpy?
Historically, let me think about that. Okay, so in my committed relationships, the very few that I've been in, I was being dumped.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you allow the relationship to go even when you could sense this is over, but you're waiting for her to go, yo, let's end this now.
Yeah, because there's this thing. I think because of like the patience conversation and like giving the chance, the grace, the maybe things will change. But I think being hopeful, actually, that's the word.
Really?
Sorry, yeah, being hopeful because I'm that person that I can remember why I decided to be here.
Okay.
It's very hard for me to forget. Do you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
it's very hard for me to forget why I made a choice.
Yeah.
And that's just generally how I am.
Yeah.
It's the reason why in a lot of things that I do, there's follow through.
Yeah.
Even if it gets challenging, etc. Because I don't forget why I chose to do it.
Yeah.
So for me to get to the place where I really like end it, yeah, it takes quite a bit. I'm trying to think, but I think there's been a balance actually, because I've just had situations where, you know, they've kind of gone left and I think I've ended those situations. And then oh sorry, I actually lied. I did lie. Yeah, I've left.
You the dumper.
Yeah, I've left. And that's because the situations get so severe.
Okay.
So, which is also what I learned, was that you can do the hopeful thing and then you get taken advantage of now, type of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Especially when you're dealing with like a narcissist and things like that, you know? So not because initially that's my flow, like, I'm just finna, you know? It's just because it got there where it's like, okay,
Yeah.
this has got to go. Yeah, but I think when I got older, it's also just like life things.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I started,
I get that.
You
I
dealing
get
with other
that.
stuff. So yeah, that's my
I
stuff.
think I'm the dumpy. I think I care too much for people's feelings.
Yeah,
Because I was like, because in my head, especially with where we came from, it's very performance orientated. So it's like I have to care about how everyone else sees things and thinks about things, even outside of the church. If I look at every other relationship, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
I have to protect your feelings first. I'm okay with bearing the hurt, but I can't afford to have you hurt.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a toxic psychological thing.
Yeah.
More than anything else. But like that was something I was okay with. Like I'm okay. I will run this out until you say you're done. Even though I know I can see this is over.
I think when you're younger, that's I guess could be okay, you know. But I think when you're older, for me, it's like, yo, you're wasting time.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. You
like
definitely.
we're wasting time.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know. So yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Keep watching before you weekend.
Kiro suspends Indian teacher for calling black people monkeys.
So boring, dog.
How are we here again?
Like it's 2024.
First of all,
What
she's
is she-
Indian.
I mean,
Also, we need to have this conversation. I hear a lot of black people say they experience more racism from Indian people than white people.
Yeah.
With the Indian people around me or the Indian people I've been around, I've never seen, experienced, or felt some subtle tension. And I've heard people say this. It's never been my experience. I don't know where these Indian people found that are racist like this.
Let me just ask this question: the economic status of those people that have experienced that, what was it?
Oh, you mean like where are they in life? They're like probably middle class.
That's interesting.
What is the theory?
I get how, for me, it's. I think it's sort of like, and it's not just with Indian people. I think you get it with colored people as well. It's sort of like
I get what you're saying.
crabs in a barrel kind of thing. We were all in there, but everybody like feels that I didn't actually deserve to be classed with you guys.
Yeah.
You know,
good.
and economically, they have the upper hand, I think. You know, Indian people do have the upper hand. I'm not saying colored people do, but everybody was now trying to move into their own thing and say like, yes, we experienced hardship from the white regime, but now who can I, straff there at the bottom kind of thing. So I do see it. I witness it a lot, but it's always, and I've noticed it in the, what you call this, the lower, not really middle class, but it's always like the lower economic these things that suffer that way. I have a lot, and it's hectic.
Racism from Indians.
If I shut up, then you get it, because they haven't heard me talk, so they only change the way they look at you. Same with white people, but they only change the way they look at me once I start talking.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah,
because you're different black.
I'm a different kind of black,
So, I'm like you, because like in Centurion we have a lot of, there's a lot of Indians in Centurion, and went to school with them. Had close friends that were Indian, so never experienced it. I heard this though, as I got older.
Yeah.
Especially where KZN's concerned. So, during the looting situation, yeah. So when the whole thing happens, so then that's when I'm hearing about, because I'm shook, I'm confused. I'm like,
how?
What's happening?
But so, like, even with that being said, when I saw that confused me, because like, oh yeah, but I know this. I was invited to this town before, like before the looting. I visited some huge ass church, and they treated me nicely. They treated me like, oh, I'm somebody here.
It's always beneath the surface, man.
Yeah,
it's there.
Yeah.
It's
so
there.
that's when I heard about it, and I get it, because sometimes you have a certain pocket that just feels like, honestly, we just feel like we're better, or we're not as bad as you guys.
Yes.
You know?
But they only brought spices to South Africa. That's all they brought here.
Excuse me. So and especially because they it's actually funny when you compare the unique stories of how we've been enslaved.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you guys owned the land and then they took it from you guys? You guys are stupid. We came off on a boat there to bring us so that we can come build.
Yeah.
When you're exchanging your slave stories like that, that's the stupidity of the conversation we're talking about. And I was like, that's crazy.
It's like, who's the smartest slave? But you're still a slave.
Yes, it's the house nigga conversation. Where a house nigga's like, yo, I'm better than you because you're a field slave.
Yeah.
And I'm in the house. It's like, no, but we're both slaves, boy, baby boy.
And
Don't get it
going,
twisted.
nigga, still nigga.
A nigga still nigga. You get what I'm saying? So, it's a very wild chat, but it's there.
And I was brought up in an Indian family.
So you also didn't experience that, right?
I didn't.
Or were there any microaggressions?
Hey.
Were there any microaggressions that made you?
I was oblivious to it.
Okay.
Just like how I was oblivious to. I was a kid because I was taken in, like into the home at 9 months, so I didn't know anything else except my Indian family. That was mom and dad. When I was talking earlier about mom and dad, I wasn't talking about black people. I was talking about Indian people. They taught me how to love and to whatever.
Very interesting.
So I didn't get that. But you, kids are intelligent, man. And
Yeah.
I've got so many core memories. I was, for some weird reason this weekend, I was sentimental. And I've got a whole file of all of my reports ever since creche, right?
Sorry, why?
I don't know why it was kept in the family, and why I'm keeping it. I keep stuff, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's I don't know why. It's
Do you
there.
do the same to you?
No.
No,
Okay.
I've got
Even
all of
birthday
my.
cards. Don't you give me a birthday
Really?
card. That's gone.
No, I'm
Like,
gonna give it to you, but what you do with it is fine. I feel like they're about flowers. Like I know they're gonna die, but I want to
Yeah.
buy them.
yeah, flowers.
What you do after I give them to you, it's irrelevant.
I keep one and then I press it and I use it as a bookmark.
You keep a flower.
I keep a flower. You dry
A
it.
flower
Yeah.
from the batch that for whatever reason you got.
Yes. And then I use
Fancy.
it because I read so much, I'm always out of bookmarks. So I use that as a bookmark. So it's very important to me. That's why, for me, if I give somebody a gift, it's not just oh shit, but I forgot to buy a gift and I quickly jumped into the store, and then it's very thought
Thought
through.
out, for sure.
Yeah, because I assume in my silly little mind that they would do the same with what I've given them, right? So yeah, I've now got core memories of, because you've got the family that brings you up, and then you've got friends or strangers or whatever. And I remember how I had to be explained all the time. So I have to be explained. No, this is the maid's kid, and you're a kid. So, I mean, I know who the maid is. I call her by her name, but she's my mom, but I call her by her name. But that's cool because my mom is right there. I'm chilled. But those things stick with you, right? And you get it. I don't forget the looks on people's faces, right? So now if somebody comes and they have that look of, oh, they don't say it, but just the slight eye thingy, I get it, and then I'm like, yes, I see it. It's okay. And then I quickly remove myself from that situation. I was actually telling my sister that it still happens, which is so weird, because I teach my children to treat people fairly,
Yeah, 100%.
So it's just weird that people still openly do that to me.
Yeah, I think that conversation's interesting where black people are concerned. It's like, and I sometimes I think about it when I do take a second, and it's like, why does it land different for us? Like the race conversation. It's like my brother knows the history of this country. My brother knows the current status of the country where the white man is concerned.
Yeah.
But he's going to treat a white man at par with respect. But for white people, it lands different. That thing confuses me.
Yeah.
Like it baffles me because, as you were saying, I'm remembering now. I had a white best friend in high school, and when we'd go into the families and the conversations around, because I was talking black guy, 100%.
Yeah.
And that's also remembering those interactions, how I know that, like, literally most white people are racist. They navigate it and they try water it down, they try tolerate as much as they try, but they never deal with the actual root issue in its sense, so you're hearing conversations about, if only the others were like you. Like, what do you mean?
Someone said that?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Where I remember, scenes like we sitting and the news pops up, people are striking. So here's what's happening. People are striking. It just happens to be black people because the black people are the ones working in a ShopRite.
Yeah.
Right?
They're the ones disenfranchised.
Yeah. So now we say, these black people that do 1, 2, 3. I'm sitting right here, TK.
Yeah.
These black people are doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our economy, blah, blah, blah. Why can't we have more black people like you?
Complimentary sandwich. So you put
And
the
at
bad
that time,
inside.
I'm chuckling. I'm a child, bro. I'm
Yeah.
in high school. I'm a
Yeah.
child. Because these are adults talking,
Yeah.
So I'm like, I chuckle, but later
Yeah.
on, I'm thinking about it.
It
That's
sticks.
so wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a wild
You,
statement.
you reminded me about a story where we had the same boss. You went in that meeting that day. the conversation was about, in South Africa we have a series of long weekends, especially after Easter.
Oh my.
Yeah.
So in the church, if you have long weekends, that means your attendance goes down. That means money goes down.
Yeah. I might have been in this chat.
The man out of nowhere says, "Flip, how many public holidays are there? Why must we have so many?"
Yeah.
And now when you think about all the public holidays we have in South Africa, you the reason we have these public holidays. Had it not been for your race behaving the way you behave, it's true. You wouldn't need these public holidays.
Yes.
Why you ask? That's a weird question to ask.
Yeah.
You're asking why do we have Freedom Day? Let's show you
Why?
that you the reason
Yeah.
for Freedom Day.
It's so crazy.
Like that's
So
weird.
crazy.
That's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Very weird thing. to say.
It gives that American ignorance.
Yeah.
It gives that. You know what I'm saying? It gives that. You remember when we had the American guys come visit? The exchange chat or whatever. Do you guys have Wi-Fi,
Yay!
bro?
Oh my word!
Bro, what do you mean? Do you have Wi-Fi?
I wanted to tag him because I think he's still somewhere on my social
Nah,
somewhere.
he's my boy. He's my boy. Shout out. He's my boy.
I remember that.
Quavo.
The man comes in.
Go.
He is the non-melanated person.
Yes.
He asks us, there is 6 iMacs or something in the studio.
Please.
Do you guys know what iCloud is? Do you?
Man, yo, that was so.
I just want to know, and it's a taught thing. It's a taught behavior.
But you get-
that's the
yeah,
reason
that's
why
right.
we can be respectful to white, black, Indian, powder blue. We can be respectful there.
Yeah.
But because it is a taught and it's in small actions, man. They don't actively say, "Listen, luister hier." They don't do that. Or they might not
I think
do that.
they do.
Do you think they do?
Ellen, I think they do. I've seen some of the craziest stuff with kids. On some moving away type tip. Like, I can't be standing next
Yeah.
to homie like this.
Shiver.
Let me tell you guys a crazy story. There was it's sad that I called him a friend, but he was a friend at the time. They had what do they call these? One of these big dogs, and they huge. They it's like it's a lion in your house.
Great Dane type.
No, not a Great Dane. Like a man, I forgot what it's called. But anyway, this dog huge, right? So when I go visit his house for the first time, there's a procedure that must happen, right? The dog must firstly be put in the house. I must walk into the yard. Then he must, at the door, walk with the dog. And the dog needs to take a moment. Now we're standing at the door. The dog needs to take
something else.
The dog needs to take a moment,
That's
right?
crazy.
Dog needs to take a moment, and he's telling the dog, no, he's
Yeah.
cool, whatever the case is. And then after a little bit, he says, okay, you can put your hand on the dog. You put your hand on the dog, whatever the case is, okay, cool. Then when the dog decides, all right, I'm going back into the house, or I'm going to go take a walk, then everything is cool. Then I go into the house. But whatever you do when you're in that house, do not make any sudden movements. I kid you not, right? And I saw an incident that happened.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get to it now. So I say, yo, what's popping? He says, Esh, our dog, where to put our dog on? Our dog doesn't really like black people.
Oh, he said it straight like that.
Oh yeah. He says our dog and black
How old are you at
people.
this time?
I'm in high school, my brother.
Okay, so you're getting the idea. Okay.
So I say, how did you get it? So
How did
so
you
with
teach
black
it,
people,
Reese?
Yeah.
how did you
yes,
teach
yes,
it?
Yes.
How did you teach it?
And animals,
He tells
animals
me.
look in black and white.
He tells me how they did it. He says when we were building the house or extending the house and the workers would come, we would take the guy's overall whatnot, folded, and they would let the dog smell it and that aggravate the dog. You guys are playing. I was like, wait, what do you mean?
Because yes, what do you mean?
Like,
Some of our friends, right, that don't have this melanated hue that we do, they don't stink too good, okay?
No, they don't.
They don't smell okay. Bankhalitati, man. But when I like bankhalitati, I don't know how to say that in English. I do, but
Smell
I
like the sun.
They smell like the sun.
You have the fragrance of the sun.
They have the fragrance of the sun. Go and ask your helper what I'm talking about. But they,
it's crazy.
so I'm honestly trying to understand. You take off his work clothes. He's been sweating, whatever.
Yeah.
You let the dog sniff it. How does the dog then differentiate between
rationalize.
somebody who's just been playing outside the whole day compared to somebody who's been working and is now black?
Exactly. Doesn't. The only thing that's happening now is association. That, okay, this smell here is that guy there. And then you also do the whole aspect of, you create the scenarios. Johnny, don't play with him.
Yep.
It's that. That's what I was kind of getting to as well.
Yeah,
Like,
they must
no,
have done
don't
something
don't
to...
play with him. Play with him here.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And then when we get into the car, it's you can't play with TK because you must play with Thingy because Thingy looks like you guys must be together.
You,
That.
you know the flip side of that is also like kind of cringy now that we're older.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, you guys look like the Rainbow Nation, the South Africa we dream of. Don't do that. Don't. And they did that with us.
You're only
And I don't
that
know why I
way because you
accepted that.
sound a
So-
certain way. You're only that way because you sounded a certain way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Otherwise, you aren't what we pictured of the Rainbow Nation. You're only that way because you have been placated into not doing at every, stop sign or every second or whatever. Sorry, I just
Come
got
join us in your
disrupted.
mansion.
This guy's got a huge ass jacket on and it's so hot.
It's so hot.
It's so hot. Freedom, my boy, freedom. But where my thinking with this was going was, I've also had white people say these public holidays, which is, and we didn't grow up in the same area. It's totally different families and friends and whatever. So how is it that everybody, I mean, you bright just fine on those public holidays. You are
Right
just
there is
okay.
Heritage Day.
And I get the economic issue with it. I get that. But
Wait,
you
what's the
aren't
economic
really
issue?
talking. It's always these blacks and their holidays.
Yeah.
You know, this South Africa. Why did I go Afrikaans? But this new South Africa. Never South Africa. May say, with the millions of public holidays. Guys, save money, save money. Ne? Take a boat. Go on.
Go to artists.
Or if you
Go on.
can't do that and you're non-melanated complaining about public holidays, you should perhaps work for us on those public holidays. But we can talk about that in the next few years.
Was it you that put on your your story about a little boy doing a TED talk about where Africa
that's
is going
beautiful.
to be?
There was a white boy doing a TED talk about Africa
Yeah.
will be economically free in your time.
Yeah.
It was so
I saw
beautiful
that
to see.
headline. I didn't-
And someone did reply to that saying, if only the African leaders could see that and stop stealing
Yeah.
the money, which is a valid point.
Which is very valid, yeah.
But it's beautiful to see that there are some kids out there who aren't black and they can go, do you not see?
Yeah.
This is where you should be.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is the nation you should be respecting.
Yeah.
It's beautiful to see that, but it's like it's always the one drop in the
Yep,
ocean. It's
one
not
drop in the ocean.
Show me the 10 Harvards, the Oxfords. Show me all of them going, guys, we need to apologize to Africa.
Yeah, if there's
Give me
one thing
that.
TK wants is an apology. TK is for
Oh,
sure.
no,
We
and
stay
more.
one.
He wants an apology, TK.
Funny.
And money.
How are we feeling about African coming third?
Yeah,
Sorry,
shout
South
out.
Africa.
shout out
South Africa coming
to
third in
Bafana
AFCON.
Bafana.
No, definitely. Well done.
Congratulations to the boys.
Yeah.
This is the best team since the last AFCON that we won.
Yeah.
Since the AFCON that we
Yeah.
did win.
Yeah.
Listen, and the Bafana team doesn't count. The Chabalala scored a goal. That was about
Yeah.
it. I keep telling people we qualified because we hosted.
Because we're hosting.
Doesn't count. Bafana did best.
Yeah.
Shout out to them.
Yeah.
Losing to Nigerian penalties is you fought. You know what I'm saying? You went at it. It's
Yeah.
different if it was like that 2-1 situation. That would have been something else.
Yeah.
It's I think it's interesting to see on social media the conversation or the reputation Nigeria has across Africa. It's not just South Africa.
Yeah.
Like if you tailor your trends to see what are the other countries around Nigeria talking about when it comes to the AFCON, and you see how they speak about Nigeria, it's like, oh, so we actually not the only people having the same complaints.
No.
Oh, okay. So should we be labeled as xenophobic, or there's a conversation that should be had? Because I think as Africans, we all have that same principle. If I'm entering a house that's not mine, I come in with respect.
Yes.
I come in with permission.
Yes.
And I know to some degree, sometimes the way we say stuff can sound xenophobic. When we say, no, you guys need to go back.
Yeah.
It sounds problematic because you don't know the problem. You don't know the situation.
And
But there should be nuance to how to approach the conversation. And if everyone around Africa is saying the same thing, like, oh yeah, they're also here doing ABC.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a general conversation that should be had, because it was very off-putting to see the high courts in Nigeria saying, guys, if you're in South Africa, don't cheer too loud. Your life could be in danger. I forgot, they put out some tweets. If you guys know it, please send the link. They were saying, don't cheer too loud, because they're essentially saying your life could be
Watch
at risk.
yourself, yeah.
When they won.
During that match, if you cheer in South Africa,
we're gonna.
And it's actually not even like, it's not that deep. That's my thing too, though.
Yeah.
Right? It's actually not that deep to say, and when I say it's not that deep, I mean like, it's the conversation of farm killings.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you're misinformed completely.
The farm killing thing upsets me.
You're using insufficient information, using old information to represent the conversation now.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I feel like where I say, like, okay, Elon Musk, you're an idiot.
Wait, let's quickly jump there because of the time, though.
Go.
With what you just said now.
Yeah.
Do you think, and I'm asking you, Ellen, as well as you guys online, should people with influence be informed before they tweet, or should they be handling social media the way we are allowed to handle it with freedom and say what we want to say? Because are we not judging ourselves terribly? Because we can say whatever we want just because no one knows us. But we go, Elon, maybe he sees himself as us. He wants to say how he saw the world based on the information he's getting.
I think everybody.
Because it's tricky. Like, yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was going as well. I was leaning
Everybody
towards
should be informed, educated first before we open our traps.
Yeah.
But it's just the way the scales lean, right? That somebody of influence, because you're in the public eye and you are just out there, you need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah.
But I just think that Ellen should also be very careful, because I don't have the influence, I don't have the eyes on me, but it take it off of social media. You put it in settings like this. We are just friends, and I just say something stupid to you that might not land, like the conversation we were having earlier, might not land immediately, but you go home and you're like, what do they mean by that? You know? And then you go back and they're like, nah, don't worry, it was nothing, man. I was just kidding. And you're like, no. But it landed in this way, you know? So I think everybody needs to be very vigilant when they are just putting things out. It doesn't matter where.
Yeah,
we just need to be very vigilant.
My thing is, it's more so being conscious, because I fully agree with you, Ellen. It's more so being conscious of the impact of what you say in the space of the platform you're saying it on. Yeah. Because like you said, if
you mean regardless if you're famous, influential or not.
Yes. Because that's what I'm trying to get to. Like, everybody should be informed before they say things, especially that pertain to people, economies, countries, things of that nature. Because you can come out and just be like, I think wine tastes horrible. It's neither here or there. Even if Elon Musk said that on that particular day, it's neither here or there. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. But when you say something that could incite a riot and incite violence, that's wild.
You should be held accountable.
There isn't free speech where that's concerned, and that's the issue with the freedom conversation, or the right to. People forget the responsibility. Because you have the right to, but you have the responsibility to.
And you have the consequence.
and there's a consequence to that too.
Yeah.
So people forget that, and all we do is, I have the right to whatever, I have the right to education, I have the right to, but you have the responsibility also too. You have the responsibility to ensure that when you in school, you ensure that you don't infringe on another person's right. You have the responsibility. You can't just be shouting, I have the right to, you're gonna burn a library. That makes absolutely no sense, right? So when you come out and say, the farm killings and whatever, or the xenophobia, you guys must be careful and how you celebrate. What do you mean? You need to be careful what you're saying, because that could have incited them to do something to us here.
Yes.
Okay, so then let me take it a few steps back. If we're saying that, why did we not hold Burna Boy accountable when the last time we had this issue? And I think there was a time Burna Boy said something about South Africa, and I think it was first fueled by the AK thing, and then he just jumped in and said something about South Africa.
There's a reason why Burna Boy took so long to come perform in South Africa.
But he never took accountability. He never even apologized.
Nah, it's not, which 100%. But remember, we're talking three things, also consequences, right? He had his consequences. He couldn't just pull up. And even after he did Delicious Fest, the next show didn't land either. So where Burna's concerned, even now, SA is tricky for them. It is. Because he's had so much encounters where that's concerned. And you are right. His path of fixing that for any future conversation at some point is to address it. And to address it from a place of compassion, not from a place of I'm right or wrong. So for Burna, it hangs. You can't ignore it. For every time Burna says SA or he wants to touch SA, the conversation will come up.
Yeah.
And it does.
Yeah.
It will follow him until further notice. You get what I'm saying? It's the reason why, where SA is concerned, Elon Musk will follow him now.
Yeah.
It will.
Yeah. Okay, we are running out of time. The biggest thing I wanted to actually kind of cover, and it's a short one. I found out this morning, CEO of Nigeria's biggest bank died in a hospital crash. Helicopter crash, sorry.
Yes. Crazy.
With the wife, with the son, and there were other big stakeholders in that helicopter. And of course, trust, it's going to sound like a conspiracy. Because, like, hold on.
Because it is.
You don't just... I mean, there's no traffic in the air. Nope. And if you're a pilot, you've done hours of flying. Yeah. And I'm not trying to incite a conspiracy. It's just I do have questions. How? How does this happen? And if you're a pilot, please educate me. There's actually a pilot I know. Maybe I should send this to her. I need education on this. How does this make sense? How do you... It just doesn't make sense. You lost control in the air. You are the only one in the air.
Yeah, when I saw that article, it reminded me of Kobe's shit. 100%. And I do believe errors happen, things of the sort, but with some what do we call it, like predominant people, like major individuals, we're literally bordering a whole nother conversation, because maybe and hence why when you said speaking to the pilot friend or somebody that's in that space, I think it would be an interesting conversation, right? To say that maybe the stats of how many, what's the average of a crash? Like, is it you know what I'm saying? Like a car accident conversation, Like if it was a car accident, I think it would be like, oh damn.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I apologize for those who are huge fans. What's his name?
Paul
Fast
Walker.
and the Furious?
Paul Walker.
Thank you. With Paul Walker, nobody went conspiracy, nobody. And underlying, it could be.
Yeah.
It could be.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the chances are there.
Yeah.
But we all went, damn, car accident, fast car,
Yeah.
Damn.
Must have been furious.
Lifestyle.
Must have been furious. That's terrible. But now in cases like this, it's like, whoa, hectic.
But then the conversation we were just having before we started shooting with an influential person was that, guys, there are things happening. And there are spaces where you should not enter. Don't scratch. Don't poke that bear because it's not going to end well. Yeah. And I just think that it doesn't register because, again, it's not America. So it doesn't register with us of how things operate, in places where, in rooms where we will never enter, you know, people that make decisions on large scales and on small ones that you wouldn't even, you know, think that they would have to enter into, but they do. So I just think that with stuff like that, it's easy for that to happen.
Yep.
It's a decision. It's a call.
I get what you're saying.
It's just like
I
gotta
don't
go.
like him. He said no in my meeting.
And
no,
you're gone.
It's, I think on the other side of that line, it's crazy and it's scary.
You know who it's making me think of? The judge on the ICJ.
Oh yeah.
That all she said no,
Oh, we
I don't
discussed
want,
that.
and then all of
And
a
now she's
sudden
the
now
vice
she's vice president. Remember when I said
judge-
the
Oh,
money?
is that
The judge from Uganda who
Yes.
voted
She's
in
vice
favor.
president
She's
of-
vice president
Now,
of
after voting for Israel,
yes.
she became
Oh.
vice president of ICJ.
ICJ.
ICJ. Yes.
And
Remember
she-
when I
and she's
told you
from
the
U-
money is not enough?
Oh.
It
And
has
she's
to be
from
something
Uganda.
greater.
Crazy. Huh?
And she's from Uganda. She's African. So it's like,
Yes,
Oh,
What's
that's
weird?
Now we
crazy.
know.
That
You
makes
see?
100%
You
sense for
see?
sure.
and then on top of that,
guys.
I mean, maybe this might be a good place to wrap it up on a happy note with the Super Bowl halftime. While that was happening, Israel was dropping bombs on Rafah, on the last town before Egypt.
Yeah.
They told everyone to go there, and then they dropped bombs.
And then they
there.
started dropping bombs.
during
that-
this halftime show.
That chat, I think the Israel chat is just so wild because I'm like, there's a small clip that I watched of this guy who's he just kept it simple. He's like, the Hamas conversation is where the error is. Why are you blowing up a whole country?
Yeah.
It makes absolutely no sense.
I mean, that's why the judgment was weird when the judge was like, you need to punish those who are inciting the genocide. You're talking about the whole country, even the public, even the citizens who are going on TikTok saying, you know nothing about Gaza and Palestine. You're saying this in your nice mansion.
Yeah.
What? Should you not be part of this? Are you not part of the problem? It's like, that's weird.
And I think for me, also it being, even if Palestine or the other side in whichever equation is wrong in whatever it is that they did, or they've other matters, that is not even near a
It's not the
solution.
solution.
It's not near a solution.
Yep.
It's like, no, they've been hating us as people for a long. What? So you saying
Yeah.
that? It's like when I look at it, dude. I've looked at it for so long, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
what is going on? Like, because we went as far back as, like USA was a big issue, like still is, because they can't mind their own business, right? In other countries, and what they did in the Middle East will forever be written in history as. But again, we easily can blackball a what's his name, Nazi chat, Adolf Hitler. We can easily, it's wild if you say, Hitler was doing it for his people. What do you mean he was doing it for his people?
Yeah.
Right? But America's still America.
The greatest marketing agency in the world.
You understand? It's crazy. It's crazy.
All right, let's wrap this up. You said, did you watch Usher's halftime show?
I didn't. I just saw the
Did you see
the
snippets?
Titanic post. The Titanic pose.
Titanic.
Yeah,
With
the famous
holding-
Titanic pose. That's what I saw.
Oh, damn. Okay, so you can't rate it. What's your rating of the performance out of 10? Everything out of 10.
No ways.
And
What
what's
do you mean
your
everything
rating?
out of
Like
10?
the show.
Oh no, I thought you were saying that I give it a 10 out of 10. No, I don't.
Okay.
I give it, and this is based on watching his Vegas shows and not having been there, but just
Online.
watching it online, and wherever else he's performed. I give it a 5.
Yeah, I give it a 5 too, actually.
Wow.
I give it a 5.
Yeah. No, there's things
So it was
that
boring.
No,
You sang along to your favorite
I
songs.
expected.
That's what I'm hearing.
I expected more because of this amount of his catalog, the size of the catalog,
Yeah.
the way his performance etiquette, like everything is up there, and it's like there's so many things that either let him down or things that I guess let us down. To this day, if I think about my top 3 Super Bowls, I would probably say Dr. Dre's one shocked me, was really good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Michael Jackson.
Yes.
I think that's when everyone realized after Michael Jackson did what he did, everyone's like, okay,
Yeah.
we have to switch this up.
Yeah.
Do I have a third one? Perhaps maybe the Bruno and Beyonce one. Maybe. Yeah.
What do you think of the J-Lo one?
I forgot that there was because I actually went back. I started
We
comparing.
needed to learn how to sing first.
Ooh.
So you should actually watch. You should actually watch the live shows, and then watch our NFL posts after it goes live. So even in the live one now, if you watch the live one, Alicia Keys messed up quite a couple of notes when she came in.
Yeah.
And the NFL post, that's why the NFL post came out
so
late.
bad.
Look at the time it dropped on Monday.
Because they went to fix it.
They fixed hers up, so you don't hear the mistakes. You don't hear any mistakes. Sounds pitch perfect.
There's one.
It's still there.
There's one that's
The opening note.
Yeah.
Imagine the opening notes of your hit song "My Boo." Like you don't do that.
I mean, Usher also. There was a few notes where it was.
And there's some places where the sound you can hear the sound guys messed up. Things went. Yeah. A lot of camera opportunities missed. You're having the dances and choreography in blue. The lights are blue, and blue absorbs blue, so you can't see them now.
Yeah.
It's like, guys,
They look like they were in black. I can already see that.
this is my nomination to direct next NFL Super Bowl.
Trust me, T.
We're coming.
Yeah, we're coming.
It's been a good hour and some. Sorry for taking extra time. Please go back to lunch. Calvin, lunch. Go back to work.
Go home.
Calvin, take us home. Or go home.
All right. Shout out, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, when you do see this, I guess happy Valentine's Day or happy previous Valentine's Day, whichever one.
If you're celebrating it now,
If you're celebrating it,
we have
right?
news for you.
No, you'll be fine, man. You'll be fine, my brother. My brother.
You're number 2.
You'll be fine.
Or 3.
Lerata Khanyango is still Valentine's Day
Yes,
champion.
it's her day.
She's still the champion. I think today my bro gave us. We don't have load shedding today. I think that was him.
No ways.
That was his way of saying no excuse. She's mad at you. Don't blame me.
We need to start
Conker
stepping
got
up.
sold. Apparently, he might have bought that for her. Conker.
For her.
You know, he's
What
that.
am I doing with my life?
Guys, time.
She's got a hotel already. And
No, I get
and a
that. No,
Maybach
but
SUV.
let me make about Lakonka. I
Yeah,
want
Konka.
something. I don't even have.
So go ahead, review your applications, review how your Valentine's went. Ask your partner the questions, as my friend said.
What are you
Review
doing
your
with your life?
performances. It's around those times. All right, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you guys. Please continue to like, share, comment, and put yourselves in the comments. Let us know what you think about what we've spoken about. Follow us on social media as well, and continue to engage with us. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. Stay safe. Have fun. Stay indoors.
Condomize. You have to condomize this weekend. There's an STI breakout, and you don't know where your husband's been.
Durex said raw. We can have it raw, which is.
All right, we out. One time.
You watching before you weekend.